JLO was always in the news this year because she's having so much problem. From rumors of a bad relationship to the joy of the press tour, there always seems to be something going on. When I last talked about her divorce, rumors had just started swirling around with people thinking something was going on between her and Ben Affleck, as they hadn't been seen out in public together in months. And paparazzi had spotted him seemingly sleeping at a different house. JLO was also seen house hunting alone, so people thought that things were not looking good for these two. Ben was later seen not wearing his ring, and that really got the headlines going, but then he and JLO were seen together, caught by paparazzi smiling with flowers in their hands, attending a school event for his son, which some felt was an attempt to quiet the rumors. People then really thought the two were putting on a show when a few days later, paparazzi got them out again, and this time it was the two of them in the car together, windows down, smiling at the paparazzi. Definitely doesn't feel staged at all, totally natural, especially coming from Ben. In the following days, people felt as though Ben was trolling the paparazzi with his son, and honestly, this was one of the only times I've really seen him smile around paparazzi besides the previous day in the car. Everyone always says that he's famous for being grumpy or in a bad mood when cameras are around, which is understandable. I mean, who wants to be followed? But this time he was all smiles as his son mocked the cameraman, taking photos of them right back. But people were quick to note that Ben had been covering his hand to possibly hide whether or not he had his ring on, as he is well aware from all the headlines lately that it's what they really want a photo of. Since the couple hasn't addressed things, curiosity has only grown, and JLO ended up getting confronted with a question about their relationship status while doing press for her new movie. When Atlas was at the press event for the movie, someone hit her with it right away. She was so mad at the person who asked the question.
Ben Affleck is real, these rumors.
Okay, we're not doing that.
Quality true.
Thank you so much.
Quality true about the situation.
You know better than that.
Come on, don't come in here with that.
Some people said that they shouldn't have asked about this because they were already talking about the movie and that it was rude and invasive. Others said that JLO had spent the year showing off her love for him and that people had the right to ask. I don't know why they asked this, because it didn't look like she was going to answer it because she hadn't talked about it in her own time, and she wasn't going to answer it here if things weren't going well for them. People thought that the answer she gave was a sign that something wasn't right because she would have just put an end to the stories right then and there. Instead, she decided to say that the person should have known better. People are saying that there is friction between her and her co-star, Sterling K. Brown, which is making the press tour for this movie even more dramatic, because small clips from talks they've done during the press tour have gone around, and some people think he seems to be interested in her more than she is in him. One clip shows her talking about being Puerto Rican, and he jokes, "Really? Are you?"
What is your go-to comfort meal?
Yeah, I grew up, I'm Puerto Rican, so I like rice and beans.
Are you Puerto Rican?
And yes, I am. Rice and beans and like, you know, chicken and stuff like that.
Pollo. Me gusta.
People reacted to the video by pointing out that he actually changed his face from saying that to a straight face. This is why some thought he was making fun of her or was just tired of her, but others said he knew what he was doing in the comments. Sterling being messy, and I'm here for it. I know she was hot after he said that. Love, Sterling. That was funny. She's probably addressed being Puerto Rican millions of times more. Clips have been going around where he seems to be trolling her a bit, like this one where he jokes about her doing.
What's the weirdest part of your daily routine?
Enema.
Interesting.
What?
What? What?
What?
I brush my teeth like 6 or 7 times a day.
That's not weird.
I like to take baths.
Oral hygiene.
I can take two baths a day.
2 baths? Do you Epsom salt it?
I poop a lot in the morning.
Yes.
In a different video, he seemed to quickly talk about the rocky relationship reports by saying that they're still very much in love.
While Ben would read the lines for Smith. And I think the newlyweds, still very much in love, I think she just wanted to hear his voice. And so sometimes the reactions that you got from her was because she was listening to her husband's voice.
Sterling was listening to one of JLO's answers to a question on the carpet in another video. An interview. Maybe he's just being silly and funny, but people are really upset by this movie. On the bright side, Netflix has her back with their new sign promoting the movie that says, "Don't F with JLO." As soon as it came out, she took pictures with it and shared them on Instagram.
What she did to him, I don't know what she said to him, but that is a man who's over her and she knows it. Because to know Jennifer Lopez is to know that she's always going to mention that she's from the Bronx, she's from the block, she's Puerto Rican, in that goddamn green Versace dress. So for him to be like, "Oh, you're Puerto Rican, for real, that's Crazy. Again, you're definitely like so over that shit, and I am right there with it. So I know nothing about this movie. In fact, I didn't even know there was going to be another JLO project coming out that wasn't about herself. But this is the second clip where I've seen Sterling K. Brown subtly throw shade on this press tour on a red carpet at JLO. I know 10 times out of 9 she was probably just herself and did something that was just like the final straw, but I want to know what. Like, I'm not an idiot. I know exactly how he got to that point, but I want to pinpoint exactly what it was just because I'm nosy.
Listen, I don't know what JLo did to Sterling K. Brown, but I know she did something. I know she did something. I can bet my bottom dollar that she did or said something to offend that man gravely. Because I have seen like every interview he's ever been in. I have watched basically everything he's been in. I have followed that man since he was in Supernatural. Okay, obviously I should have been following him before that, but I have followed him for a long time. That man can do no wrong. That man is like the picture of respect in any interview he's ever doing, right? So I know she offended him, and I don't need the context. I don't need the story, Sterling. I believe you.
The interesting thing to me about this movie, though, is that it looks a lot like the movie that she put out along with her album earlier this year. Obviously, the entire storyline is different, but just the stills from it look exactly the same that before I even found out about the Atlas movie.
So a bunch of people were messaging me yesterday telling me about this billboard that Netflix put up for Atlas. So I want to go see it for myself. Oh, look at it smoking. It just crashed. You guys got to watch the movie. Just came out today.
And I was seeing promo for it. I literally thought that these were just clips from the movie that she did earlier this year. I mean, truly, they look like the same movie. But hopefully this one has a much different reaction than her movie, because her movie and the album that went along with it are really biting her right now and might cost her a $90 million deal. We've talked about how JLo is set to go on tour this summer, and the fact that it hasn't been selling well. And it seems like because of that future plans might be in trouble. It was reported this week that JLo was recently in talks for a $90 million Las Vegas residency, but because of the low ticket sales on her comeback album tour, they're worried about the tickets for something like this selling, according to the New York Post. JLo had recently been in talks with MGM Grand on a guaranteed $1 million a show for 90 dates starting next year. A source close to the situation told the Post, but casino executives have lately grown skittish over abysmal ticket sales for her first tour in 5 years following the release of her This Is Me Now album in February, with poor demand having forced the cancellation of 7 shows. This Is Me Now album in February, with poor demand having forced the cancellation of 7 shows this summer. The source said it's also been claimed that MGM had teamed up with Live Nation to offer her more than $800,000 a show, and then Resort World up to the bidding to $875,000 per show in partnership with AD. MGM and Live Nation were really fighting for JLo, and then brought the deal up to $1 million a show. But now they seem to be regretting that decision, seeing as how this year is not panning out for her, with a source telling the New York Post that it's pretty rare that you have a poor tour and then you go to Vegas for a residency. But I guess we'll just have to see what happens and if this residency will actually see the light of day. But as of right now, that's what JLo has been up to in the recent weeks. The updates on her and Ben, as well as the new drama people have speculated on and this potential deal. I certainly wanted to know what you guys think about all of this. What do you think about JLo possibly going to Vegas and doing a residency? Do you think it would sell better than her tour? Let me know your ideas in the comments. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next video.